Hey guys and everybody who watching this video. Today I'm gonna play the one role at A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen as a substitute assignment to my absence, and I'm going to play as Nora. There we go. Oh, please hide the Christmas tree carefully, Helen. Be sure the children do not see it until this evening when it's dressed. Sorry, how much?
6 pence.
Ah, there you go, a shilling. No, you can keep the change. Yes. Yes,
Is it
and
my little dog twittering out there?
yes, it is.
Is it my little squirrel bustling about?
Yes.
When did my squirrel come home?
Just now. Oh, you can come in here, Torvald, and see what I have bought.
Don't disturb me. What did you say? All these things? Has my little spendthrift been wasting money again?
Yes, but Torvald, this year we really can let ourselves go a little. This is the first Christmas that we have not need to economize.
Still, we can't spend money recklessly.
Yes, Torvald, we may be a wee bit more reckless now, mayn't we? Just a tiny wee bit. You're going to have a big salary and earn lots of money.
Yes, after the new year. But then it will be a whole quarter before the salary is due.
We can borrow until then.
Nora! The same little featherhead. Suppose now that I borrow 50 pounds today and you spend it all in the Christmas week, and then on New Year's Eve a sledge fell on my head and killed me.
Oh, don't say such horrible thing!
Still, suppose that happened. What then?
If that were to happen, I don't suppose I should care whether I own money or not.
Yes, but what about the people who had lent it?
They? What bother about them? I should not know who they were.
That is like women. But seriously, Nora, you know what I think about that. No debt, no borrowing. There can be no freedom or beauty about a home life that depends on borrowing and debt. We too have kept carefully on the straight road so far, and we will go on the same way for the short time longer that there need be any struggle.
As you please, Torvald.
Come, my little skylark must not drop her wings. What is this? Is my little squirrel out of temper? Nora, what do you think I have got there?
Money!
There you are. Do you think I don't know what a lot is wanted for housekeeping at Christmas time?
10 shillings, a pound, 2 pounds. Oh, thank you so much, Torvald. That will keep me going for a long time.
Indeed it must.
Yes, it will. But come here and let me show you what I have bought. And all so cheap. Look, here's a new suit for Ivor, and a sword, and a horse and a trumpet for Bob, and a doll for Dolly's breasthead for Emmy. They're fairly plain, but anyway, she will soon break them into pieces. And here, dress like handkerchief for the maids. Old A and really have something to do better.
And what is in this parcel?
No. You mustn't see that until this evening.
Very well, but now tell me, you extravagant little person, what would you like for yourself?
For myself? I'm sure I don't want anything.
Yes, but you must. Tell me something reasonable that you would particularly like to have.
No, I really can't think of anything. Unless, Torvald?
Well?
If you really want to give me something, then you might...
Well, out with it.
You might give me money! Torvald, only just as much as you can afford, and then one of these days I will buy something with it.
But Nora...
Oh, do, dear Torvald, please do. Then I will wrap it up in a beautiful gilt paper and hang it on the Christmas tree. Wouldn't that be fun?
What are little people called that are always wasting money?
Spendthrift, I know. Let us do as you suggest, Torvald, and then I shall have time to think what I most want of. This is a very sensible plan, isn't it?
Indeed it is. That is to say, if you were really to save out of the money I give you and then really buy something for yourself. But if you spend it all on the housekeeping and any number of unnecessary things, then I merely have to pay up again.
Oh, but Torvald...
You cannot deny it, my dear little Nora. It's a sweet little spendthrift, but she uses up a deal of money. One would hardly believe how expensive such little persons are.
It's a shame to say that. I do really save all I can.
That's very true, all you can. But you can't save anything.
You haven't any idea how many expenses we Skylark and Squirrel have, Torvald.
You are an odd little soul, very like your father. You always find some new way of wheedling money out of me, and as soon as you have got it, it seems to melt in your hands. You never know where it has gone. Still, one must take you as you are. It is in the blood, for indeed it is true that you can inherit these things, Nora.
I wish I had many of Papa's qualities.
And I would not wish you to be anything but just what you are, my sweet little Skylar. But do you know it strikes me?
Do I?
You do, really. Look straight at me.
Well,
Hasn't Miss Sweetfoot been breaking rules in town today?
no, what makes you think of that?
Hasn't she paid a visit to the confectioner's?
No, I assure you, Torvald.
Not being nibbling sweet?
No, certainly not.
Not even take a bite at a macaron or two?
No, Torvald, I assure you, really.
There, of course, I was only joking.
I should not thinking of going against your wishes.
No, I am sure of that. Besides, you gave me a word. Keep your little Christmas secrets to yourself, my darling. They will all be revealed tonight when the Christmas tree is lit, no doubt.
Did you remember to invite Dr. Rang?
No, but there is no need. As a matter of course, he will come to dinner with us. However, I will ask him when he comes in this morning. I have ordered some good wine. Nora, you cannot think how I am looking forward to this evening.
So am I. And how the children will enjoy themselves, Torvald.
It is splendid to feel that one has a perfectly safe appointment and a big enough income. It's delightful to think of, isn't it?
It's wonderful.
Do you remember last Christmas? For a full 3 weeks beforehand, you shut yourself up every evening until long after midnight, making ornaments for the Christmas tree and all the other fine things that were to be a surprise to us. It was the dullest 3 weeks I ever spent.
I didn't find it dull.
But there was precious little result, Nora.
Oh, you shouldn't tease me about that again. How could I have the cats going and tearing everything to pieces?
Of course you couldn't, poor little girl. You had the best of intentions to please us all, and that's the main thing. But it is a good thing that our hard times are over.
Yes, it is really wonderful.
This time I need to sit here and be dull all alone, and you need it, and you needn't ruin your dear eyes and your pretty little hands.
No, Torvald, I didn't any longer, need I? It's wonderfully lovely to hear you say so. Now I will tell you how I have been thinking we ought to arrange this, Torvald. As soon as Christmas is over... There's the bell. There's someone at the door. What a nuisance.
If it is a caller, remember I am not at home.
A lady to see you, ma'am. A stranger.
Ask her to come in.
The doctor came at the same time, sir.
Did he go straight into my room?
Yes, sir.
How do you do, Nora?
How do you do?
You don't recognize me, I suppose.
No, I don't know. Yes, to be sure, I seem to... Yes! Christine! Is that really you?
Yes, it is I.
Christine! To think of my not recognizing you, and yet how could I... How you have altered, Christine.
Yes, I have indeed. In 9-10 long years.
Is it so long since we met? I suppose it is. The last 8 years have been happy for me, I can tell you. And so now you have come into the town and have taken this long journey in winter. That's what's lucky to you.
I arrived by steamer this morning.
To have some fun at Christmas time, of course. How delightful. We'll have such fun together. But take off your things. You are not cold, I hope. Now we'll sit down by the stove and be cozy. No, take this armchair. I will sit here in the rocking chair. Now you look like your old self again. It was only the first moment. You're a little paler, Christine, and perhaps a little thinner.
And much, much older, Nora.
Perhaps a little older. Very, very little. Certainly not much. What a thoughtless creature I am, chattering away like this. My poor dear Christine. Please do forgive me.
What do you mean, Nora?
Poor Christine, you're a widow.
Yes, it is 3 years ago now. Oh,
It was very bad of me, Christine. Poor thing, how you must have suffered, and he left you nothing?
I quite understand. No,
And no children?
no,
Nothing at all then.
not even any sorrow or grief to live upon.
But Christine, is that possible?
It sometimes happens, Nora.
So you're quite alone. How dreadfully sad that must be. I have 3 lovely children. You can see them just now, for they are out with a nurse. But now you must tell me all about it.
No, I want to hear about you.
No, you must begin. I mustn't be selfish today. Today I must only think about your affairs. But there is one thing I must tell you. Do you know we have just a great piece of good luck?
No? What is it?
Just fancy. My husband has been made the manager of the bank.
Your husband? What good luck.
Yeah, tremendous. A barrister's profession is such an uncertain thing, especially if he won't undertake our several cases, and naturally Torvald has never been willing to do that, and I quite agree with him. You may imagine how pleased we are. He has to take up his work in the bank in New Year, and then he will give a big salary and lots of commissions. For the future, we can live quite differently. We can do just as we like. I feel so relieved and so happy, Christine. It will be splendid to have heaps of money and no need to have any anxiety, won't it?
Yes. Anyhow, I think it would be delightful to have what one needs.
No, not only what one needs, but heaps and heaps of money.
Nora, haven't you learned sense yet? In our school days, you were a great spender.
Yes, that is what Stolford says now. But Nora, it's not so silly as you think. We have not been in a position for me to waste money. We both had to work.
You too?
Yes. Odds and ends, needlework, crochet work, embroidery, and all that kind of thing. And other things as well. You know, Thorvald left his office when we were married. There was no prospect of promotion there, and he had to try and earn more than before. But during the first year, he overworked himself dreadfully. You see, he had to make money every way he could, and he worked early and late, but he couldn't stand it, and felt dreadfully ill, and the doctor said it was necessary for him to go south.
You spent a whole year in Italy, didn't you?
Yes, it was no easy matter to get away, I can tell you. It was just after Ivor was born, but naturally we had to go. It was a wonderfully, beautifully journey, and it saved Thorvald's life, but it cost a tremendous lot of money, Christine.
So I should think.
It cost about £250. That's a lot, isn't it?
Yes, and in emergencies like that, it is lucky to have the money.
I ought to tell you that we had it from Papa.
Oh, I see. It was just about the time that he died, wasn't it?
Yes, and just think of it. I couldn't go and nurse him. I was expecting little Ivor's birth every day, and I had my poor sick Thorvald to look after. My dear, kind father. I never saw him again, Christine. That was the saddest time I have known since our marriage.
I know how fond you were of him, and then you went off to Italy?
Yes. You see, we had money then. The doctors insist on our going, so we start a month later.
And your husband came back quite well?
As sound as a bell.
But the doctor...
What doctor?
I thought your maid said the gentleman who arrived here just as I did was a doctor?
Oh yes, that was Dr. Rang. But he doesn't come here professionally. He's our greatest friend and comes in at least once every day. No, Thorvald has not had an hour's illness since then, and our children are strong and healthy, so am I. Christine, it's good to be alive and happy. But how horrid of me. I'm talking of nothing but my own affairs. You mustn't be angry with me. So tell me, is it really true that you did not love your husband? And why did you marry him?
My mother was alive then and was bedridden and helpless, and I had to provide for my two younger brothers. So I did not think I was justified in refusing his offer.
No. Perhaps you were quite right. He was rich at that time, and then?
I believe he was quite well off, but his business was a precarious one, and when he died, it all went to pieces and there was nothing left.
And then?
Well, I had to turn my hand to anything I could find, first a small shop, then a small school, and so on. The last 3 years have seemed like one long working day with no rest. Now it is at an end, Nora. My poor mother needs me no more, for she is gone, and the boys do not need me even. They have constitution and can see for themselves.
What a relief you must feel if...
No, indeed. I only feel my life unspeakably empty. No one to live for anymore. That was why I could not stand the life in my life with the backwater any longer. I hope it may be easier here to find something which will busy me and occupy my thoughts. If only I could have the good luck to get some regular office work of some kind.
But Christine, that is so frightfully tiring, and you look tired out now. You had far better go to some watering place.
I have no father to give me money for a journey, Nora.
Oh, don't be angry with me.
It is you that must not be angry with me, dear. The worst of a position like mine is that it makes one so bitter. No one to work for, and yet obliged to be always on the lookout for changes. One must laugh, and so on become selfish. When you told me of the happy turn your fortunes have taken, you will hardly believe it. I was delighted not so much on your account as on my own.
What do you mean? Oh, wait, I understand. You mean that perhaps Thorvald could get you something to do?
Yes, that was what I was thinking about.
He must, Christine. Just leave it to me. I will broach the subject very cleverly. I will think of something that will please him very much. It will make me so happy to be some use to you.
How kind you are, Nora, to be so anxious to help me. It is doubly kind in you, for you know so little of the burdens and troubles of life.
I? I know so little of them.
My dear, small household cares and that sort of things. You're a child, Nora.
You ought not to be so superior.
No?
You're just like others. They all think I'm incapable of anything really serious.
Come.
That I have gone through this nothing in this world of cares.
But my dear Nora, you have just told me all your troubles.
Those were trifles. I have not told you the important thing.
The important thing? What do you mean?
You look down upon me altogether, Christine. But you ought not to. You're proud, aren't you? Of having worked so hard and so long for your brother?
Indeed, I don't look down on anyone. But it is true that I am both proud and glad to think that I was privileged to make the end of my mother's life almost free from care.
And you're proud to think what you have done for your brothers?
I think I have the right to be.
I think so too. But now listen to this. I too have something to be proud and glad of.
I have no doubt you have. But what do you refer to?
Speak low. Suppose Torvald were to hear. He mustn't on any account. No one in the world must know, Christine, except you.
But what is this?
Come here. Now I will show you that I too have something to be proud and glad of. It was I who saved Torvald's life.
Saved? How?
I told you about our trip to Italy. Torvald would never have recovered if he had not gone there.
Yes, but your father gave you the necessary funds.
Yes, that is what Torvald and all other things, but Papa didn't give us a shilling. It was I who procured the money.
You? Oh, that large sum?
250 pounds. What do you think of that?
But Nora, how could you possibly do it? Did you win a prize in the lottery?
In the lottery? There would have been no credit in that.
But where did you get it from then? Nora? Because you couldn't have borrowed it?
Couldn't I? Why not?
No, a wife cannot borrow without her husband's consent.
If it's a wife who has any head of business, a wife who has the wit to be a little bit clever.
I don't understand it all, Nora.
There is no need you should. I never said I had borrowed the money. I may have got it some other way. Perhaps I got it from someone I admire, when anyone is as attractive as I am.
You are a mad creature.
Now you know you're full of curiosity, Christine.
Listen to me, Nora, dear. Haven't you been a little bit imprudent?
Is it imprudent to save your husband's life?
It seems to me imprudent without his knowledge, too.
But it was absolutely necessary that he should not know. My goodness, how can you understand that? It was necessary he should have no idea what a dangerous condition he was in. It was to me that the doctors came and said that his life was in danger, and the only thing to save him was to live in the South. Do you suppose I didn't try, first of all, to get what I wanted as if it were for myself? I told him how much I should love to travel abroad like other young wives. I tried tears and entreaties with him. I told him that he ought to remember the condition I was in, and that he ought to be kind and indulgent to me. I never hinted that he might raise alone. That nearly made him angry, Christine. He said I was thoughtless, and I was his duty as my husband not to indulge me with my whims and caprice, as I believe he called them. Very well, I thought. You must be saved. And that was how I came to devise a way out of the difficulty.
And did your husband ever get to know from your father that the money had not come from him?
No, never. Papa died just at the time. I had meant to let him into the secret and beg him never to reveal it. But he was so ill then, and there never was any need to tell him.
And since then, have you never told your secret to your husband?
God heavens, no! How could you think so? A man who has such strong opinions about these things, and besides, how painful and humiliating it would be for Torvald, with his manly independence, to know that he owed me anything? It would upset our mutual relations altogether. Our beautiful, happy home will no longer be what is now.
Do you mean never to tell him about it?
Well, someday, perhaps, after many years when I'm no longer as nice looking as I am now. Don't laugh at me. I mean, of course, when Torvald is no longer as devoted to me as he is now. When my dancing and dressing up and everything have piled on him, then it may be a good thing to have something in reserve. What a nonsense! That time will never come. Now, what do you think of my great secret, Christine? Do you still think I am of no use? I can tell you too, that this affair has caused me a lot of worry. It has been by no means easy for me to meet my engagement punctually. I may tell you that there is something that is called, in business, quarterly interest, and another thing called payment in installments, and it's always so dreadfully difficult to manage them. I've had to save a little here and there where I could. You understand? I have not been able to put aside much from my housekeeping money, for Tolford must have a good table. I couldn't let my children be shabbily dressed. I have felt obliged to use up all he gave me for them. Two sweet little darlings.
So it has all had to come out of all your own necessaries of life, poor Nora.
Of course. Besides, I was the one responsible for it. Whenever Torvald has given me money for new dress and such thing, I have never spent more than half of it. I have always bought the simplest and cheapest things. Thank heaven any clothes look well on me, and so Torvald has never noticed it. But it was often very hard on me, Christine, because it is delightful to be really well dressed, isn't it?
Quite so.
Well, then I found other ways for earning money. Last winter I was lucky enough to get a lot of copying to do, so I locked myself up and sat writing every evening until quite late at night. Many a time I was desperately tired, but all the same time it was a tremendous pleasure. To sit there working and earning money, it was like being a man.
How much have you been able to pay off in that way?
I can't tell you exactly. You see, it's very difficult to keep an account of a business matter of that kind. I only know that I have paid every penny that I could scrape together. Many a time I was at my wit's end. Then I used to sit here and imagine that a rich old gentleman had fallen in love with me.
What? Who was it?
Be quiet! That he had died, and that when his will was opened it contained, written in big letters, the instruction that lovely Mrs. Nora Helmer is to have all possessed paid over her at once in cash.
But my dear Nora, who could the man be?
Good gracious, can't you understand? There was no old gentleman at all. It was only something that I used to sit here and imagine when I couldn't think of anywhere procuring money. But it's all the same now. The tiresome old person can stay here he is. As far as I am concerned, I don't care about him or his will either, for I am free from care now. My goodness, it's delightful to think of, Christine. Free from care. To be able to free from care, quite free from care, to be able to play and roam with the children, to be able to keep the house beautifully and have everything just as Torvald likes it. And think of it, soon the spring will come and the big blue sky. Perhaps we shall be able to take a little trip. Perhaps I shall see the sea again. Oh, it's a wonderful thing to be alive and be happy.
There is the bell. Perhaps I had better go.
No, don't go. No one will come in here. It is sure to be for Torvald.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am. There's a gentleman to see the master, and as the doctor is with him.
Who is it?
It is I, Mrs. Helmer.
You? What is it? What do you want to see my husband about?
Bank business in a way. I have a small pot in the bank, and I hear your husband is to be our chief now.
Then it is.
Nothing but dry business matters, Mrs. Helmer. Absolutely nothing else.
Be so good as to go into the study then.
Nora? Who was that man?
A lawyer of the name of Krogstad.
Then it really was he.
Do you know the man?
I used to, many years ago. At one time he was a solicitor's clerk in our town.
Yes, he was.
He is greatly altered.
He made a very unhappy marriage
He is a widower now, isn't he?
with several children. There now it is burning up.
They say he carries on various kinds of business.
Really? Perhaps he does. I don't know anything about it, but don't let us think of business. It is tiresome.
No, my dear fellow. I won't disturb you. I would rather go into your wife for a little while. I beg your pardon. I'm afraid I'm disturbing you too.
Oh, no, not at all. Dr. Rank, Mrs. Lin.
I've often heard Miss Lin name mentioned here. I think I passed you on the stair when I arrived, Miss Lin.
Yes, I go up very slowly. I cannot manage stairs well.
Ah, some slight internal weakness.
No, the fact is I have been overworking myself.
Nothing more than that. Then I suppose you have come to town to amuse yourself with our entertainment.
I have come to look for work.
Is that a good cure for overwork?
One must live, Dr. Rang.
Yes, the general opinion seems to be that it's unnecessary.
Look here, Dr. Rank. You know you want to live.
Just
Certainly.
Certainly. However much I may fail, I want to prolong the agony as long as possible. All my patients are like that. And so are those who are morally diseased. One of them, and a bad case too, is at this very moment with Helmer,
Whom do you mean?
a lawyer of the name of Krogstad, a fellow you don't know at all. He suffered from a diseased moral character. Miss Helmer, but even he began talking of its being highly important that he short life.
Did he? What did he want to speak to Thorvald about?
I have no idea. I only heard that it was something about the bank.
I didn't know this. What's his name? Krogstad had anything to do with the bank?
Yes, he has some sort of appointment there. I don't know whether you find also in your part of the world that there are certain people who go jealousy snuffing about to smell out moral corruption, and as soon as they have found some, put the person concerned into some lucrative position where they can keep their eye on him. Healthy natures are left out in the cold.
Still, I think the sick are those who most need taking care of.
Yes, there you are. There is a sentiment that is turning society into a sick house. Why do you laugh at that? Have you any notion what society really is?
What do I care about tiresome society? I'm looking at something quite different. Something extremely amusing. Tell me, Dr. Rang, are all the people who are employed in the bank dependent on Thorvald now?
Is that what you find so extremely amusing?
That's my affair. It's perfectly glorious to think what we have, that Thorvald has so much power over so many people. Dr. Rang, what do you say to a macaroon?
What? Macarons? I thought they were forbidden here.
Yes, but these are some Christian.
I?
Oh well, don't be alarmed. You couldn't know that Thorvald had forbidden them. I must tell you that he is afraid they will spoil my teeth. But, once in a way, that's so, isn't it, Dr. Rang? By your leave, you must have one too, Christine, and I shall have one, just a little one, or at most two. I'm tremendously happy. There is just one thing in the world now that I should dearly love to do.
Well, what's that?
It's something I should dearly love to say if Thorvald could hear me.
Well, what can you say it?
No, I dare not. It's so shocking.
Shocking?
Well, I should not advise you to say it. Still, with us you might. What is you would so much like to say if Thorvald could hear you?
I should just love to say, well, I'm damned!
Are you mad?
Nora, dear.
Say it. Here he is.
Well, Thorvald dear, have you got rid of him?
Yes, he has just gone.
Let me introduce you. This is Christine, who has come to town.
Christine? Excuse me, but I don't know.
Mrs. Lane, dear. Christine Lane.
Of course, a school friend of my wife's, I presume. Yes, they have known each other since then.
And just think, she has taken a long journey in order to see you.
No, really,
Christine is tremendously clever at bookkeeping, and she is frightfully anxious to work under some clever man, so as to perfect herself.
Very sensible, Miss Lin.
And when she heard you had been appointed manager of the bank, the news was telegraphed. You know, she traveled here as quick as she could. Thorvald, I'm sure you will be able to do something for Christine for my sake, won't you?
Well, it is not altogether impossible. I presume you are a widow, Miss Lin. Yes. And have had some experience of bookkeeping? Yes, a fair month. Ah, well, it's very likely I may be able to find something for you.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
You have just come at a fortunate moment, Miss Lin. How am I to thank you? There is no need, but today you must excuse me.
Wait a minute. I will come with you.
Don't be long way, Thorvald dear.
About an hour, not more.
Are you going to, Christine?
Yes, I must go on and look for a room. Oh, well, then we can walk down the street together.
What a pity it is we are short of space here. I'm afraid it is impossible for us.
Please don't think of it. Goodbye, Nora dear, and many thanks.
Goodbye for the present. Of course you will come back this evening. And you too, Dr. Rang. What do you say? If you are well enough? Oh, you must be. Wrap yourself up well. There they are. There they are. Come in, come in. Oh, you sweet blessings. Look at them, Christine. Aren't they darlings?
Don't let us stand here in drought.
Come along, Miss Lin. The place will only be bearable for our mother now.
How fresh and well you look. Such red cheeks like apples and roses. Have you had great fun? That's splendid. Once you pulled both Amy and Bob along the sledge more than once, that was good. You're a clever boy, Ivor. Let me take you for a little land. My sweet little baby doll. Yes, yeah. My mother will dance with Bob too. What? Have you been snowballing? I wish I had been there too. No. I will take their things off and please let me do it. This is so much fun. Go in now. You look half frozen. There's some hot coffee in the stove. Oh, really? Did the big dog run after you? But it didn't bite you? No, dogs don't bite nice, only dolly children. You mustn't look at the parcels, Ivor. What are they? Ah, I dare say you would like to know. No. It's something nasty. Come, let us have a game. What shall we play at? Hide and seek? Yes, we'll play hide and seek. Bob shall hide first. Must I hide? Very well, I'll hide first.
Excuse me, Miss Helmer.
Ah, what do you want?
Excuse me, the outer door was ajar. I suppose someone forgot to shut it.
My husband is out, Mr. Krogstad.
I know that.
What do you want here then?
A word with you?
With me? Go in the nurse. What? No, the Trenchman won't do Mother any harm. When he has gone, we'll have another game. You want to speak to me?
Yes, I do.
Today? It's not the first of the month yet.
No, it is Christmas Eve, and it will depend on yourself what sort of a Christmas you will spend.
What do you mean? 2 days absolutely impossible for me.
We won't talk about it until later on. This is something different. I presume you can give me a moment?
Yes. I can. Also...
Good. I was in Olsen's restaurant and saw your husband going down the street
Yes?
with a lady.
What then?
May I make so bold as if it was a Miss Lind?
It was.
Just arrived in town?
Yes, today.
She's a great friend of yours, isn't she?
She is, but I don't see...
I knew her too once upon a time.
I'm aware of that.
Are you? So you know all about it. I thought as much. Then I can ask you without beating about the bush. Is Miss Lind to have an appointment in the bank?
What right have you to question me, Mr. Krogstad? You one of my husband's subordinates, but since you asked, you shall know. Yes, Mrs. Lind is having an appointment, and it was I who pleaded her cause, Mr. Krogstad. Let me tell you that.
I was right in what I thought then.
Sometimes one has a tiny little bit of influence, I should hope. Because one is a woman, it does not necessarily follow that. When anyone is in a subordinate position, Mr. Krogstad, they should really be careful to avoid offending anyone who
has influence.
Exactly.
Miss Helmer, you'll be so good as to use your influence on my behalf.
What do you mean?
You'll be so kind as to see that I'm allowed to keep my subordinate position in the bank.
What do you mean by that? Who proposed to take your post away from you?
Oh, there's no necessity to keep up the pretense of ignorance. I can quite understand that your friend is not very anxious to expose herself to the shades of rubbish shoulders with me, and I could understand too, whom I have to thank of being turned off.
But I assure you...
Very likely. But to come to the point, the time has come when I should advise you to use your influence to prevent that.
But, Mr. Krogstad, I have no influence.
Haven't you? I thought you said yourself just now.
Naturally, I did not mean you to put that construction on it. What should make you think I have any influence on that kind of with my husband?
Oh, I have known your husband from our students' days. I don't suppose he's any more unassailable than other husbands.
If you speak slightingly of my husband, I shall turn you out of the house.
You are bold, Miss Helmer.
I'm not afraid of you any longer. As soon as the new year comes, I shall in a very short time to be free from the whole thing.
Listen to me, Miss Helmer. If necessary, I am prepared to fight for my small post in the bank, as if I were fighting for my life.
So it seems.
It is not only for the sake of the money. Indeed, that weighs least with me in the matter. There is another reason. Well, I may as well tell you. My position is this. I dare say you know, like everybody else, that once, many years ago, I was guilty of an indistraction.
I think I've heard something of the kind.
The matter never came into court, but every way seemed to be closed to me after that. So I took to the business that you know of. I had to do something, and honestly, I don't think I've been one of the worst. But now I must cut myself free from all that. My sons are growing up. For this shake, I must try and win back as much respect as I can in the town. This post in the bank was like the first step up for me, and now your husband is going to kick me downstairs again into the mud.
But you have to believe me, Mr. Krogstad. It's not my power to help you at all.
Then it is because you haven't the will. But I have means to compel you.
You don't mean that you will tell my husband that I owe you money?
Suppose I were to tell him.
It would be perfectly infamous to you. To think of his learning my secret, which has been my joy and pride, in such an ugly, clumsy way, that he should learn it from you, and it will put me in a horribly disagreeable position.
Only disagreeable?
Well, do it then! And it will be the worst for you. My husband will see for himself what a blackguard you are, and you certainly won't keep you posted.
I asked you if it was only a disagreeable scene at home that you were afraid of.
If my husband does get to know of it, of course he will at once pay you what is still owing, and we shall have nothing more to do with you.
Listen to me, Miss Helmer. Either you have a very bad memory or you know very little of business. I shall be obligated to remind you of a few details.
What do you mean?
When your husband was ill, you came to me to borrow 250 pounds.
I didn't know anyone else to go to.
I promised to get you that amount.
Yes, and you did it so.
I promised to get you that amount on certain conditions. Your mind was so taken up with your husband's illness, and you were so anxious to get the money for your journey, that you seem to have paid no attention to the conditions of our bargain. Therefore, it will not be amiss if I remind you of them. Now, I promise to get the money on the security of a bond which I drew up.
Yes, and which I signed.
Good. But below your signature there were a few lines constituting your father's surety for the money. Those lines your father should have signed.
Sure, he did sign them.
I had left the date blank. That is to say, your father should himself have inserted the date on which he signed the paper. Do you remember that?
Yes, I think I remember.
Then I gave you the bond on the send to post to your father. Is that not so?
Yes.
And you naturally did so at once, because 5 or 6 days afterwards you brought me to the bond with your father's signature, and then I gave you the money.
Well, haven't I been paying off it regularly?
Fairly so, yes. But to come back to the matter in hand, that must have been a very trying time for you, Miss Helmer.
It was indeed.
Your father was very ill, wasn't he?
He was very near his hand.
And died soon afterwards?
Yes.
Tell me, Miss Helmer, can you by any chance remember what day your father died? On what day of the month, I mean?
Papa died on 29th of September.
That is correct. I have ascertained it for myself, and as that is so, there is a discrepancy, which I cannot account for.
What discrepancy? I don't know.
The discrepancy consists, Miss Helmer, in the fact that your father signed this bond 3 days after his death.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Your father died on the 29th of September. But look here, your father has dated his signature the 2nd of October. It is a discrepancy, isn't it? Can you explain it to me? It is a remarkable thing, too, that the word 2nd of October as well as the year are not written in your father's handwriting, but in one that I think I know. Well, of course, it can be explained. Your father may have forgotten to date his signature, and someone else may have dated in haphazard before they know of his death. There is no harm in that. It all depends on the signature of the name, and that is genuine, I suppose, Miss Helmer. It was your father himself who signed his name here?
No, it was not. It was I that wrote Papa's name.
Are you aware that is a dangerous confession?
In that way, you shall have your money soon.
Let me ask you a question. Why did you not send the paper to your father?
It was impossible. Papa was so ill. If I had asked him for his signature, I should have had to tell him what the money was to be used for. And when he was so ill himself, I couldn't tell him that my husband's life was in danger. It was impossible.
It would have been better for your trip abroad.
No, that was impossible. That trip was to save my husband's life. I couldn't give that up.
But did it never occur to you that you were committing a fraud on me?
I couldn't take that into account. I didn't trouble myself about you at all. I couldn't bear you because you put so many heartless difficulties in my way. Also, you knew what the dangerous condition my husband was in.
Miss Helmer, you evidently do not realize clearly what is it that you have been guilty of. But I can assure you that my one false step, which lost me all my reputation, was nothing more or nothing worse than what you have done.
You? Do you ask me to believe that you were brave enough to run a risk to save your wife's life?
The law cares nothing about motives.
Then it must be a very foolish law.
Foolish or not, it is the law by which you will be judged. If I produce...
I don't believe it. Is a daughter not to be allowed to spare her dying father anxiety and care? Is it the wife not to be allowed to save her husband's life? I don't know much about law, But I am certain that there must be laws permitting such thing as that. Have you no knowledge of such law? You who are a lawyer? You must be a very poor lawyer, Mr. Krogstad.
Maybe, but matters of business, such business as you and I have had together, do you think I don't understand that? Very well. Do as you please, but let me tell you this. If I lose my position a second time, you shall lose yours with me.
Nonsense! Sorry to frighten me like that. I'm not as silly as he thinks. And yet... No, it's impossible. I did it for love's sake.
Mother, the stranger man has gone out through the gate.
Yes, dear, I know, but don't tell anyone about the stranger man. Do you hear? Not even Papa.
No, Mother, but will you come and play again?
No, not now.
But Mother, you promised us.
Yes, but I can't now. Run away in. I have such a lot to do. Run away in, my sweet little darlings. No. Helen, bring the tree in. No. It's quite impossible.
Where shall I put it, ma'am?
Here. In the middle of the floor.
Shall I get anything else?
No, thank you. I have all I want. A candle here. Flowers here. The horrible man. It's all nonsense. There's nothing wrong. The tree shall be splendid. I will do everything I can to please you, Torvald. I will sing for you. I will dance for you. Oh, you're back already?
Yes, has anyone been here?
Here? No.
That is strange. I saw Krogstad going out of the gate.
Did you? Oh yes, I forgot. Krogstad was here at the moment.
Nora, I can see from your manner that he has been here begging you to say a good word for him.
Yes.
And you were here to appear to do it of your own accord? You were to conceal from me the fact of his having been here? Didn't he beg that of you too?
Yes, Torvald, but...
Nora, and you will be a party of that sort of thing? To have any talk with a man like that and give him any sort of promise, and to tell me a lie into the bargain?
A lie?
Didn't you tell me no one had been here? My little songbird must never do that again. A songbird must have a clean back to chirp with, no false stones. That is so, isn't it? Yes, I am sure it is. We will say no more about it. How warm and snug it is here.
Torvald?
Yes?
I'm looking forward tremendously to the fancy dress ball at the Steinbox after the day tomorrow.
And I'm tremendously curious to see what you are going to surprise me with.
It was very silly of me to want to do that.
What do you mean?
I can't hit upon anything that will do. Everything I think of seems so silly and insignificant.
Does my little Nora acknowledge that at last?
Are you very busy, Torvald?
Well,
What are all those papers?
plain business.
Already?
I have got authority from the retiring manager to undertake the necessary changes in the staff and in the rearrangement of the work, and I must make use of the Christmas week for that, so as to have everything in order for the new year.
Then that was why this poor cockstrap...
Hmm.
If you hadn't been so busy, I should have asked you a tremendously big favor, Torvald.
What is that? Tell me.
There is no one has such good taste as you, and I do so want to look nice at the fancy dress ball. Torvald, couldn't you take me in hand and decide what I shall go as, and what sort of a dress I shall wear?
Uh-huh. So my obstinate little woman is obliged to get someone to come to her rescue?
Yes, Torvald, I can get along a bit without your help.
Very well, I will think it over. We shall manage to hit upon something.
That is nice of you. How pretty the red flowers look. But tell me, was it really something very bad that this Kohlstrat was guilty of?
He fought someone's name. Have you any idea what that means?
Isn't it possible that he was driven to do it by necessity?
Yes, or, as in so many cases, by imprudence. I'm not so heartless as to condemn a man altogether because of a single false step of that kind.
No, you wouldn't, would you, Torvald?
Many a man has been able to retrieve his character, if he has openly confessed his fault and taken his punishment.
Punishment?
But Krogstad did nothing of that sort. He got himself out of it by a cunning trick, and that is why he has gone under altogether.
But do you think it would?
Just think how a guilty man like that has to lie and play the hypocrite with everyone, how he has to wear a mask in the presence of those near and dear to him, even before his own wife and children. And about the children, that is the most terrible part of it all, Nora.
How?
Because such an atmosphere of lies and facts and poisons the whole life of a home. Its breath the children taken. In such a house is full of the germs of evil.
Are you sure of that?
My dear, I have often seen it in the course
of my life as a lawyer. Almost everyone who has gone to bed early in life has had a deceitful mother.
Mother?
It seems most commonly to be the mother's influence, though naturally a bad father should have. It seems most commonly to be the mother's influence, though naturally a bad father should have the same result. Every lawyer is familiar with the fact. This Krogstad now has been persistently poisoning his own children with lies and dissimulation. That is why I say he has lost all moral character. That is why my sweet little Nora must promise me not to plead his cause. Give me your hand on it. Come, come. What is this? Give me your hand. There now, that's settled. I assure you it would be quite impossible for me to work with him. I literally feel physically ill when I am in the company of such people.
How hot is it here? I have such a lot to do.
Yes, and I must try and read through some of this before dinner, and I must think about your costume too. And it is just possible I may have something ready in gold paper to hang up on the tree. My precious little singing bird.
No. It isn't true. It's impossible. It must be impossible.
The little ones are begging so hard to be allowed to come into Mama.
No. Don't let them come into me. You stay with the man.
Very well, ma'am.
The brave my little children poison my home? It's not true. It can't possibly be true. So after seeing the first scene of the play, I want to sum up the play that I've did. It's a story about the life of a husband and wife which now going to become rich while suddenly a lawyer named Cockstrat who knows their background in the way from they become poor to back their life is now. It isn't actually Nora's money, but she loaned the money using his father's name, and Cockstrat wants to have his part of commission of helping Nora to loan money. Otherwise, he will tell to Torvald about the way Nora's get the money. And so the main story is actually about the sacrifices of Nora to help Torvald back to his business work, or to even better. I mean, as we can see from the story, Torvald is a very selfish guy, and he is in a high society, and Nora is just a woman who wants to help her husband to stay in the society, to get a good work, and he sacrificed all of her life, including her dad, to get back in Torvald back to his business. Well, my personal opinion of the play is actually easy enough to be understand, because from the beginning until the end, as we could see that the problem is about money, and about historical background of a family which is not going to be exposed, but then someone wants to be exposed, and it's become a problem because it's include the wife of the family to this problem, and the husband doesn't know it. So it's really pretty hard case to be solved. But then it was a really good story, really good play, and I would love to see it, even though, or maybe it was going to the movie. I would love to see it. My personal thoughts about whether I can learn from the plays applicable or relevant to the situation in Indonesia nowadays is, I think it's could be applicable and could be relevant, because human is life to be made to complete each other. So just like, for example, from the story, a husband and wife, because they are already married, so their main mission to get a happy life is to help each other. And so I think if in that case, if the wife helped the husband just like this, it could be applicable and relevant enough to every people in Indonesia. But it's almost not often happen in Indonesia, because in Indonesia there still has an old role that man is the head of the family, so he's the one who should look for money, and who should give the family food or something like that. But because since the era is more modern and women also have rights to work, and I think it's also could be almost relevant according to the story. So that's it. Thank you for watching my videos, and I hope it's could satisfy enough to the lecturers and everyone who watched this movie. Thank you.